Hello, everybody. Today is day 306, and we're reading from Luke chapter 12 and 13. Now, today's hot topic can cause defensiveness and also a justification when we are confronted by these natural inclination. Jesus specifically, precisely, and directly deals with topics of don't worry, don't be afraid, don't be anxious. And many of us who struggle with those kind of emotional impulses will consider the fact that, we would if we just knew how. Jesus identifies the dangers of things, possessions, in which he says, beware of covetousness. Now, this insatiable desire for worldly gain, that is this greediness, this excess, the desire for more, and you are just simply never satisfied, is really the root of what covetousness means, as well as the desire for what others have. Jesus shares the story of a very successful farmer. In this man's accumulation, he became consumed for more. He couldn't be satisfied with the abundance that he had attained, and so he decided within himself that he would tear down the barns that contained all of his possessions and all that he had, and that he was going to build much larger structures to contain his bulging possessions. So then he said within himself, he settled down. And he rested in his confidence in the security of the things that he had accumulated. And then came the word one night unexpectedly to him, because his eye had been bent on possessions and the natural world, and he had ignored the spiritual realm. And the voice came, so you have many goods laid up for many years. That's what he's saying to himself. I have so much. I have nothing that I need to worry about. I don't have to fear anything, because he put his confidence in the God of possessions. And he said, I'm going to take my ease, and I'm going to eat, and I'm going to drink, and I'm going to be merry. And these things became utter distractions to him, and robbed him of the real focus and priority of life. His busy life and his abundance distracted him from an eternal focus, and the things he owned soon owned him, and he could no longer see into the eternal realm. So then Jesus addresses a correlation to this man who suddenly came to the end of his journey. Soul, tonight, your soul is required of you, and he wasn't ready. So Jesus then transitions and says to each and every one of us, the issues of worry, the issues of anxiety, the issues of fear. And he said, worry we'll lose or run out of. The thing is, the worry has a way of causing us to be concerned that we're going to lose or run out of sufficient things in our lives. It's the anxiousness is that, can I manage all of this? Is this all? Am I missing something? Is something that, and then there's this the fear of the what ifs. That is. What if this happens, and what if I, and I'm going to lose all of this that I have. Then Jesus talks about the laws of nature, and he says God takes care of the ravens, and he takes care of the lilies, and he takes care of the sparrows. How much more value are you? You're a much greater value than of that. So Jesus is asking us, what does worry accomplish in your life and my life? When you really get down to what does anxiety, what does anxiousness get you? Where does it get you? Because you cannot change it. In fact, Jesus identifies it very specifically, the disvalue of being anxious in your mind. And then he says, stop living in fear. Just don't do it anymore. And Jesus unveils the hidden secrets for a carefree life. He says, seek God first and seek his kingdom first, and all the rest of things of life are going to be added to you. And then he says, be rich in God, otherwise you're going to end up losing it all. Just like that rich farmer who just tore down his barns to build bigger structures to contain all that he'd accumulated. And then he thought, I'm increased with goods, and then the word came, hey, you've ignored the soul, and your soul's required of you tonight. And then Jesus identifies these areas as issues of little faith: worry, anxiety, fear. He says, "Oh, ye of little faith." And so it's a rebuke of our tendency, because we feel we can take charge and take command. In many ways, fear is a means by which we relinquish control, or we take control, and we think that we can manage it, and we don't recognize that God is God and he's in charge of all those things. Jesus said, where your treasure is, there your heart will also be. And the secret that we find in this passage is to let go of the things that so easily can control our lives, distract us, consume us, cause us to be busy. And where the message here is to let go of it and to pursue God first. And when you put God first and you make sure your soul is attended to, then we will learn to be content and confident that God Almighty, who is Lord of our lives, and all we are is manager of those things, but he's the owner, we suddenly then become, there's a new inner peace and a new inner release, of which we begin to experience what I believe Jesus came, that we could have life and that we can live the abundant life, and we can live it to the fullest.